Well, hello everyone. This is Jeff Roster, co-host of This Week in Innovation and strategic advisor covering for retail at Third Eye Advisory. Hey, I just thought I'd give you some quick thoughts on my day up at Dreamforce 2023. So, a couple thoughts. One, the city clearly put on a very good show. Streets were absolutely spotless. I know that area very, very well. I do live in the Bay Area, and so let's just say that that area can be a bit of a challenge. The city clearly got Mark's message about having a very safe show and a very clean environment to operate in. Obviously, it's a very unique place to have a conference, and I get why Mark wants to maintain his Bay Area and San Francisco connections. I mean, this was me last night at a vendor event on the Bay. One of the really more unique settings. Out in the sailboat, talking tech, talking a lot of things with the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. Just an absolutely phenomenal setting. I did get a chance to walk through Union Square, which up until a few years ago, really was one of the premier retail locations, I would argue, certainly in the United States, if not the world. And this is my shot, and this was yesterday, and that's 5 stores right in a row that are all up for rent because they just couldn't stay in business. If you notice, the sidewalks are just, they're just absolutely spotless. So a lot of work the city had gone into, returning some kind of standard to that particular area. In the course, though, an analyst, I have to comment what I saw in the course of walking from the Moscone Center up to the Apple Store. I don't know, probably 3/4 of a mile. Saw at least 4 folks clearly in mental distress walking the streets. This isn't a retail issue. This isn't a tech issue. This is a society issue. We have to figure out how we can help folks that probably are, hurting themselves and potentially hurting other people. It is what it is. There was a massive police presence, though, so I didn't feel not safe. You couldn't look more than half a block in any direction that I walked, and I walked all over the area without seeing multiple San Francisco PD officers on full display. And when I was walking through Union Square, it was interesting the amount of heavily armed security that was everywhere. So clearly a massive response to the problems, the smash and grabs that we've seen. So don't want to make a political statement, but as a retail analyst, you have to observe what's happening to my industry. And so it looks at least like the city has now begun to try to respond to some of the chaos that was up there. Thought I would share with you some of the comments that myself and Alex Jarto and Patrick Sullivan had from the event itself. And so this is a quick little video recorded last night. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dreamforce, Salesforce Dreamforce Conference. I'm Jeff Roster, Third Eye Advisory retail person with my 2 colleagues.
Hello there, Alex Jarto.
And Pat Sullivan.
And I thought what we'd do is just kind of recap some thoughts from the keynote this morning. So Mark did his typical, hour and 20-minute keynote. A couple of thoughts that I saw right off the bat, which I was really impressed with. He spent the first good 20 minutes talking about some of the charitable works he's done. $20 million to public schools, $150 million to the Oakland and San Francisco schools. A lot of talk about some of the work they've done with the homeless community. As a matter of fact, he actually said you want to love your neighbor as yourself, which was interesting. I'd never heard that in a tech conference before. And tomorrow night they're going to be talking a lot about some of the contributions. Over $100 million so far to the Alex, what is it? It's the hospital, but it's the
Mark Benioff Children's Hospital.
Right.
Yeah. So over the lifetime of giving that Mark's done. Yeah.
Yeah. So really, really interesting first 10, 15 minutes, and then I thought Alex, you had some interesting thoughts about where he went from there.
Yeah. So I think that a big part of the discussion today is where does this new AI world take us? And I found it fairly important for Mark Benioff to start talking about the good work that Salesforce has done, because it gives them a little bit permission to talk about the other things. They talked about trust, they talked about issues around using AI, they talked about the models, and making sure the models work for you, right? And what does that mean? They're contextual. They don't take your data to enhance their own models and things like that around what the new Einstein product, Einstein 1, they're calling it, is going to do. Yeah.
Yeah, Einstein Platform 1 is kind of the highlight of the day from their perspective. Trying to be the trusted provider for customer information allows them to position against other AI tools in their view, because there is a lot of skepticism about a lot of Gen AI aspects, ChatGPT, and the data could come from anywhere and across the world. So being the trusted source of customer data is a key positioning to try to gain that trust, and again builds off everything else. The other thing that struck me is on the service provider side. In order to really take advantage of AI, the service providers really have the opportunity to step up and be that translator. How do I use these tools? And it's the pragmatic use of the tools in the market today that's different. The market's much more mature than it was a few years ago, and everyone's trying to make sense of how could I really get value, and that's the focus, I think, of customers.
Yeah, and there's an interesting point about that in Salesforce Ventures, that they've got a $500 million venture fund, and they've, over the course of the fund, $5 billion invested with 28% IRR, which is, he challenges other investors to meet what they've done. But the point of that being that they need to drive innovation. So if they're a mature market, how do they drive innovation, right? We've been talking about the Salesforce economy and how that seems to be a new way to think about it. There's a huge ecosystem around Salesforce, but it's really an economy now that a lot of tech companies, service providers, and everyone who's a trailblazer is part of.
Yeah, I think really good start to the conference. Looking forward to more meetings. We had some great ones today. We're going to have another couple of really awesome ones tonight on San Francisco Bay, so really looking forward to that. Jeff Roster signing off from Dreamforce.
So, in just wrapping up, the city couldn't have done a better job in the last 3-4 weeks getting ready for the conference. Iconic location. I'm a native Bay Area, a native Northern Californian, and been in the Bay Area for 30 years. So I sure hope it continues up here. But boy, oh boy, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what Mark does with it going forward. Loved all the talk of innovation. Certainly, Mark's thoughts around the need for AI to be not only authentic but humane. I mean, just some amazing words. So it's definitely going to be fun to watch the Dreamforce or the Salesforce move through AI over the next 3 or 4 years. Looking forward to following it, and hope everyone enjoyed some of the content that's coming out of that. Talk to y'all later.